I'd like to introduce Brian Feehily to give the first speech tonight. He's going to talk a little bit about his experience with sport in Ireland.
Sport is a universal language among people, young and old. It can bring together people of different backgrounds and religions. It can bring out the best in people and, unfortunately, the worst. Due to our history, sport was always going to be used as a sign of identity. This evening I want to discuss with you my own personal experience of how sport can bring people together on the island of Ireland. Historically speaking, sport has divided our island. In days gone by, members of the nationalist community in Northern Ireland generally played traditional Irish sports, such as Gaelic football and hurling, while members of the unionist community generally played soccer and rugby. This can still be seen today in Northern Ireland's largely divided educational system, when Catholic schools play Gaelic football and hurling, while Protestant schools tend to play soccer and rugby. However, these divisions have begun to blur, and competition between different sporting organisations has given way to a level of cooperation. The most prominent example of this is when the Gaelic Games Association made the historic decision in 2007 that allowed soccer and rugby to be played in Croke Park. Historically, Croke Park is the spiritual home of Irish Gaelic Games. The stadium also forms a tragic part of Irish history, as during our War of Independence in the 1920s, British forces shot dead innocent spectators at a Gaelic match in the stadium. Therefore, nearly 90 years later, in 2007, it was a poignant occasion when Ireland hosted the English rugby team at this stadium. This stadium also serves as a memorial to those who were killed on that day. Allowing the English rugby team to play a competitive fixture against Ireland, and significantly allowing the English anthem God Save the Queen played there before the match, symbolised how far we have come as a country in recent years. This would have been unimaginable just 10 years ago. Furthermore, despite partition, many sporting bodies stayed as All-Ireland bodies and continued to field teams that included members from both the North and the South. We continued to have a united North-South rugby team which contains players from the unionist community. The relationship between the players on our national rugby team was seen as special throughout the dark days of the Troubles. Sport in Ireland is also something that I have a close personal attachment to, mainly through my involvement in boxing. The values in boxing are exemplified by training, preparation and discipline, and that is why I have learned so much about life from sport. It has led me to believe that when you have put time and effort into any project or task, you always have a decent chance of success. These are values which I now carry through my life. The other reason I am so closely bound to the sport is that during the 1992 Olympics, one of the coaches of the Irish boxing team was my granduncle, Austin Crute. His son Michael Crute had qualified for the Olympics and went to Olympic glory that year against all the odds. To me, guys like Austin are unsung heroes because of the time and effort they put into their communities. It is notable that 12 of Ireland's 23 medals that we have won at the Olympic Games have been won in the boxing ring. Personally, I believe that what Irish boxers has achieved, often with little or no resources, has never been fully recognised by our country. Our success in boxing stands head and shoulders above all our other sports. Perhaps it is our fighting Irish spirit, combined with the strength of boxing within communities across the island, that has created this international success. Indeed, the 1992 Olympic Games were memorable for other reasons. Not only did we win our first gold medal since 1956, when Michael Crute, who was also a member of the Irish Defence Forces, won a gold medal, we also had a Belfast man called Wayne McCullough. Wayne McCullough narrowly lost in his final fight on the same day that Michael won gold. The pocket rocket, as he was known, had to accept silver. Wayne McCullough was also a member of the unionist community and lived in a Protestant working class area in Northern Ireland. But during the previous fortnight, Michael and Wayne had become heroes among the people in the Republic, and we were as disappointed for Wayne as people were in the North. Despite this disappointment, they were given a hero's welcome in Dublin, with large crowds turning out to see them in the airport and for an open top bus tour of Dublin City. The crowds were as happy to shake Wayne's hand as they were to shake Michael's. Wayne was due to have a similar reception in Belfast and asked Michael to join him. Despite this being what most people wanted, some unionist politicians objected, claiming that as Michael was from the Republic of Ireland, he was not welcome in their city. Michael never travelled to Belfast. This is an example of when negative politics stood in the way of genuine progress. But I would like to think that the images of how Wayne was greeted in my city of Dublin played a role in helping change the perception of the Republic of Ireland amongst members of the unionist community. I believe we've moved on from this, and due to the peace process and improved relations, I'm confident that this incident would not happen again, and things would be very different if the situation was repeated. I actually believe boxing is uniquely situated to encourage more cross-community and north-south initiatives, and I have a story from my own life which illustrates just how things have changed. A friend of mine, Paddy O'Shea, a former captain of Trinity College Boxing Club, moved to Northern Ireland to study for a Masters in Queen's University, Belfast. Unbelievably, at the time he went to Queen's, Queen's did not have a boxing club. Undeterred, Paddy set one up and came to an arrangement with the predominantly Protestant Sandy Row Boxing Club that allowed Queen's Boxing Club to use their facilities. The fact that a man from Dublin travelled to Belfast to set up a university boxing club that trains in Sandy Row, a distinctly Protestant area, speaks volumes about how far things have moved on. Queen's University Boxing Club is now affiliated to the Irish Amateur University Boxing Association. And in March, they travelled down to Dublin for a competition with other Irish universities in Drimna Boxing Club. Once again, just 10 years ago, this would almost have been unthinkable. This is only a small step, but it is a positive step, giving young unionists and nationalists the opportunity to compete and visit other parts of the country. I hope that eventually all these small steps will add up to form a journey which will lead to the normalisations of relationships between all the people of Ireland. Thank you very much.